What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're actually going to begin a new series. In this series I'm actually going to look through every single special event set here from the monsters and the packs, and let you know what I think about each item in these sets, as well as how hard they are to get, if I would recommend them myself. And then of course I'm gonna, well, not of course, but hopefully you like the fact that I'm going to pick out my star item from these sets, which I believe to be a good item for how hard it is to get and the stuff that actually gives. Now let's start first with the Mecha Trojan set. And the first item in this set is the Secret Totem. Now let's look at the stats given by this item. It gives you infantry attack, siege engine attack, infantry max HP, and army defense. Now, before I begin speaking about these items, I'm just going to let you know this set has a lot of siege engine stats, and as a lot of people would agree in the Lords Mobile community, the siege stats are basically null. You don't need to look at them. They're basically wasted statistics because most people don't send siege into fights, and if they do, it's about 20,000, and many even believe that they're basically useless. So most people don't even build them. I have some, but that's just because I made them before I knew what they actually were and if they were worth it. So let's just get straight to it. So as we look in here, the Secret Totem gives you the attack and the max HP for your infantry troops. This stat only applies to your infantry troops. So overall, it's good. The percentages are fairly high here, as you can see, 15%. That means your front line is actually stronger, able to take a bigger hit. As well, as their attack increased by 7%. If you get 3 of these, your infantry will be fairly strong in the front, so it would work out well. And the cherry on top of this item is the army defense boost, because this boost applies to both all of your infantry, cavalry, siege, and your archers. So that is really good. So overall, I'd say this item is a solid, maybe 8 out of 10 for the stuff that it gives, because it's actually a really good stats for an accessory, which is only level 45. And as you can see here, it's not too difficult to make because it requires only one of these items here, and even that blue is good enough to compare to some of the purple. Or actually, it's better than any of the free-to-play accessories that you can get. So for example, Lost Island Relic. So it is better, and it requires 3 of this item here, which is a common drop, as well as the common drop, which is the refined gunpowder, and only 1 of the blueprints, as I said earlier. So it's not too difficult to make, not too expensive, doesn't take too long. So overall, a good item. Now the second item after that we're going to look at is the Corrupted Boots. Now let's look at its stats. It has infantry attack and defense, and I'm going to ignore the siege here. These boots are not that great. Looking at them now straight up, it doesn't have any overall army stats, so nothing that applies to the entire army. It's all based on infantry. It's infantry defense and attack, which are good stats. However, it's only 10%. That means 20 overall, and some other boots are just able to outclass them by the time they are blue or green. That's in some stages for those statistics. So I'm just going to quickly show you an item as I spoke about before in another video. The Winter Stompers at blue, they already give army defense 6%, as well as you can see here, range defense and attack at 3 and 11%, which compared to the mecha boots. But the reason these boots could be a potential option is because they are really easy to make. As you can see here, it requires 3 of the common drops, so it's actually a good item if you just want to get good shoes, which are not too bad, from like a special set, without spending too much money, because you can get these items from the monsters fairly easily if you just keep fighting them. So, if you have the time, you can get these boots. But overall, I'd give these boots maybe a 5. They're not that good stat-wise. Alright, moving on. The Malicious Saw. The Malicious Saw, again, ignoring the siege stats, gives you a total of 25 infantry attack and 15 infantry defense. It doesn't give any stats overall for your whole army, so I would say this item's not that great. if you are somebody who's infantry orientated, let's say you have the big guy and a few other heroes with good logistics stats like the Demon Slayer and Shade as your main troops to send, and you know you want to just have those heroes for when you're trying to take down a big player and they have a lot of infantry, you want to send in infantry too to take them out, or cavalry or whatever. Like, you know, you just gotta, if you're fighting a certain troop type and you need to send infantry, to be honest, equipping this gear set would mean that your infantry is really strong. But, you know, overall, I would say it's not that great of an item for how hard it is to get. Here, as you can see, it's not too difficult, but, you know, 2 instead of 1, and that will take you a bit longer. So overall, maybe a 6 out of 10 for this item. Would I say it's better than some of the other items for main hand? Not really. It's not exceptional. There are better items out there. Okay, next thing is the Viral Switchblade. Now let's look at the stats on this item. Again, ignoring siege, it gives you 15% attack on infantry and 15% attack on ranged. Is it good? I wouldn't say it's good. As you can see here, it does also still require 2 blueprints, which is not too much, but it's quite a lot. You're not going to get them to legendary easy, because for example here, so far fighting monsters, I was not able to get a single blueprint up to this point, and they've been out for like 2 weeks or so. I had to buy a pack, so you know it's not that great. So get it at your own, not exactly risk, but if you really do like the look of it, or you just want something different, you can get it. But overall, the item is potentially a 5 again. Not that great item. Not that great of an item. And the final item here is the Firewall Plate. Now, how good is this item? This item, ignoring siege, is great. It has 20% infantry attack, 30% cavalry attack, which is great. Saying great again, like isn't it like a cereal mascot or whatever? But the most important skill, stat on this item is the 15% max HP, which is great because that gives you max HP for the entire team, all your different troop types, as well as obviously the infantry and cavalry, covering 2 of the major types of troops. So overall, this item is really good for what it gives you. However, the big issue with this item is the items required. As you can see here, the blueprints, it requires 8 of them. So unless you are willing to spend a lot of money on the game, I would not recommend this Firewall Plate because it's too difficult to get. It's a level 60 item. The amount of blues, greens, and whatever you're gonna need to even get it to somewhere substantial. For example, blue here, it's good enough. You can get some other items to legendary for much cheaper, and they will compare to the Firewall Plate at blue and purple at legendary. So I wouldn't say it's that great. So the item overall, it's a 6. If you can afford it, of course, then for you it can be like an 8. But for a normal player, chances are you're not going to get this item. So I would say it's 5 purely because it's so difficult to get. But overall, as an item, it's good. And in this whole set here, I would say the star item is the Secret Totem. I have 2 of this item now at blue as my accessories because it is that good of an item in your accessory slot compared to some of the free-to-play items. And because it only requires 1 of each of the items here, it just means that it's not too difficult to build. As you can see, for only $20 I managed to get this, well, £20 I managed to get this item, 2 of these, 2 blue, and you know, with another set of doing the same thing, I'll be able to get 1 or 2 purple if I get lucky. So it's not that difficult. And that's it, guys. I'm going to leave that here. The star item of this set is going to be the Secret Totem. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and leave a like if you would like to see me review any other sets. And there's one other thing I wanted to mention, is after I do all these sets, I'm going to create the best overall set, including all of these items, the best items from each one, to see if we can make the best set, picking up each pieces.